Hey, what are you doing? Well, I'm just trying to come up with a name. So I'm looking through this here book and trying to find. Well, what page are you on right now? Well, I'm on 795. So what word are you looking for? Well, I'm looking up primordial, existing from the beginning of that which was the first to be created. Primordial matter, fundamental, underived, primordial rights of a species, organ, cell, etc., earliest developed. So what you're saying is the first brain created upon conception is the quote-unquote bird brain. Well, some refer to the reptilian brain, but yes, that's the view of the first brain. But I mean, you can call it whatever you want, right? Because just because something's the first developed doesn't mean really anything. It's just the basis. It's kind of like DNA, right? What's more important, DNA or RNA, or the process of transcription? Doesn't matter. Well, it depends upon who you ask, right? What if it's all important and there is no one better than the other, no one more important than the other? Without the one, there would not be the other. Does that make sense? Okay, so what are you trying to come up with? Well, I need to find out what primordial means because I used the word in one of my videos, and I was like, what does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. I better look that up. So in what context did you use that word? Well, I was like trying to be like kind of like the villain or the hero, the antagonist or the protagonist. I don't know what really, because they're all on the same side. But I was trying to create some kind of catalyst or some kind of something to generate tension and almost so the view of using the word primordial was to go back to the savage, the basic, the first instincts of man, right? Whether a little kid or animal or no matter who it is or what it is, the need for survival. I guess that's really what the context I use primordial in. So does that context of being in the nature of savage or the need to survive fit with that definition of primordial? Well, I'm not sure. I think it does, but it might not. Again, it depends upon who you ask, right? Because the whole entire concept to life depends upon who you ask, right? You know, some people view life as the training ground before you evolve and go to the next stage of life. That's why somebody created a 9-meal course. These are all stages of dinner, and always keep your fork because something better is always coming, right? So when you die, it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It just the next step to everybody dies. So we had to get rid of death being a bad thing, because people go crazy, woo, loopy, because they're going to die, and they will do the most sinister of things when they're there's a reason why people will go out with a bang and take as many with them, right? Others, you know what? I got the chance to love. I got a chance to play. I got a chance to do all these really amazing, awesome things. And that if I was not born and did not get a chance to live, I would still be a particle of light traveling through this cosmos, this universe, this galaxy, and the nuclei of every atom, which would be quote unquote every living being or every soul, is born in a nuclear reactor, which would be like the sun or the stars, right? So that's kind of the thing. So what are you doing with this story? Well, when I find out Primordial and this character, he's kind of like the founder of this thing. That doesn't tell me much. Well, he views challenge and conflict and getting back to the root of very existence, the need to survive, the need for challenge and to be forever in the grips of death, because that's the only time you really feel alive. I share my view with you on that, but I'm going to guess everybody's got an opinion, and a person's views is derived from experience. So, I mean, what works for him might not work for somebody else. So you got this character who views the very best quality of life, I'm guessing, is when you're in the grips of death, and your elation comes from the challenge and being able to excel to, hey, I did it, right on, awesome, and now you're elated. But of course, being in life, your entire life does not evolve around this one moment, right? So, oh, that's your pinnacle, that's your peak. You learn to tie your shoelaces, you learn to how rock climb, you were able to add 1 + 1, and instead of making it look like a window that still needs the equal signs to fully contain the window, because it's a forever progression, right? You always create more interesting life. You get better challenges, just better everything, right? Well, yeah. So this character, Hagnas, should I call him Hagnas? Isn't that an ice cream? Well, technically yes, but I needed a character who would symbolize ice cream. So I was like, Hagnas, right? Have you ever thought about writing a different book? And the two of them laughed, right? So you got this character, and he's all about creating environments where you must be challenged to overcome and create that feeling of accomplishment, whatever it is, right? So how'd your character come up with this? Well, I guess he came up with it by looking at all of life. All through life, you start at this stage, and if you're lucky enough to get through those 9 months, you are finally born into this world. And of course, being born into this world, you know, you were in a womb, you're safe, you could hear voices. Some would cause pain, some would be loving and tender, some would actually talk to you and even rub. You could tell that they were rubbing the womb, the outside of the womb, and saying, "I love you," and all this, you know, normal stuff, right? To tell you the place you're going to is going to be a better place, and we're excited to meet you after all those months of conception, or whatever you might want to call it. Right? So this is what we're doing. So are you going to put that story about the 3 guys in hell? Huh. You got the devils pushing the people back into hell. Oh, and then these ones are even bigger and tougher. They're pushing them back into hell. I know a story. I know a story. Yeah. So that's where you have the conclusion of why I'm creating this, because these people, I'm going to name them a goodness, a family who don't need devils to push you back into hell, because they're the family who they push each other back into hell, right? Right? Have you seriously considered doing another story? And they both laugh again, because it is kind of funny. Why? No, I haven't. So I'm still trying to come up with this name. So, what if you made a contest and asked everybody else for an opinion as to what we should call this family? Well, I already know this name. How can I tell you that to expand what you're doing, since people like stories, that people would like to be involved in creating a story, and there are other people who just love to hear about the story. Now, if you're looking to create paths to creation, right? Wouldn't it be beneficial to just create a contest? Well, I got nothing to offer. What about if you were to create a contest to create this name for this family in reflection of this family needing to push each other to become better? Well, you see, the thing is this story really isn't for the whole world. It's just for the people who like me and care about me, right? So if I go creating a contest or something like that, probably end up with strangers who have their own views, own ideas, and well, don't you think that having somebody else's views and ideas might actually contribute to a better book? Even if you just have people contributing to the characters that they create, and they come up with the symbols and all these things that the character that you need. They say, hey, I got a name, I got a symbol for this character, I got all these things. This character is moody, this character's wild spirited, this character, all these traits, not a lot of education. This character is like a scholar, and this character is like a laborer, and all these things. You know what? It could go really good for you. Just out of curiosity, what symbol were you going to use and as a name for the? Well, you know, I was going to actually use a different language, so you wouldn't be able to even know what it meant when you heard it. It might be in a different language altogether. It might even be in a language that doesn't technically exist. It'd be like me creating Klingon, and nobody's ever heard of Klingon before the guy who created Klingon. You get that, right? Okay, let's translate it then. First, why are you naming this family this? And why? Well, you see, this family is all about becoming better, and because they're the cream of the crop, and only so many stay there. And this other guy, he's creating a game so that it gives more people a chance to play without having to go through whatever this is, right? Separation, division, whatever it is. You can call it whatever you want, but still the results are very, I don't even know what to call it, but you can see it all through society, all around the world, all through history. Right? I was reading a book called Fake, and it's all about somebody's show on a magician who, and his name starts with an M, and without always being able to create artificial inflation, artificial debt, and funneling all the money into a system that is created on artificial necessity, right? So it's always trying to create something that should not be, all in order to separate money from the poor and funnel it through various ways to the richest of the rich. So, what were you going to name this family if they're down here? Well, you see, this family is calling the people who aren't a part of this system, and those who don't support this system, they call them a name. So I thought, well, in reflection, this here would be a name that reflected what they are trying to show. We are perfect people, and you people are not perfect. So I was like, oh, so this is kind of like, and you could use any term, any word. So I guess basically this family would be like, they wreck everything. They are the rectum of the entire world. Look. So if you translate it, look, they wreck everything. Look, they're the rectum. They want to make not separation, they want to make everything on an equal level so that everybody can live a good life. And they don't want that. You know, I'm at odds with how I feel. I don't know how I feel about what you just told me. You're just going to tell me that these bad people, you're going to name them rectum. And are they the bad people or the good people? Well, you see, there's no good and bad about it. It's just this group calls the people who are not a part of their group, they call them whatever they want to call them. And yet they say that they're all about good, right? So how else do you translate the name that they call these people, stating that they're not good? What else would you call them? Look, they're wrecking everything. Look, that's who they are. They're the rectum of all the world. Yeah, I really don't know what to say about that. That's why I'm reading this book, to find maybe another name. But you know, it is what it is, right? You can create a name, but like I said, if you translate, it might be rectum. But because I'm creating another language, maybe one that doesn't exist, you'll never know that that's what it symbolizes. And that's could be why multiple languages were created, because yeah, we need to do things so that you actually don't know. It's kind of like having our own little code, right? Hey, we are so smart, we can talk in this language and you will never know what we're saying. Good luck with that.